Hello all, normal human man Sam here, coming at you with another list. I may not have work or friends or plans, but one thing I do have, one thing I've always had, are lists. Copious, unending lists. Today's, it's about movies. Edit in a saxophone, or like a trumpet, or any kind of percussion. Or just don't, maybe that'll be funnier. What are the best films from every year I've been on the planet? Not objectively, no such consensus exists, and also not by today's standards, because I thought it'd be a lot more interesting if I let IMDb do the talking. What were my ratings at the time of watching all of these? What kind of movies was I rating 10 out of 10 in 2012? Probably Big Mama's House. Let's start on the year of my birth, 1996. 1996? More like 1997, because the best film that came out this year was Seven. Easily the best David Fincher feature. This was the first film we were shown in first year film studies in college. And because of that enlightening course, I now know what's in the box. What's in the box? Gwyneth Paltrow. 1986 had a lot of films that I've seen since, but don't feel strongly about, like Independence Day, Mission Impossible, Porco Rosso.
I'd much rather be a pig than a fascist.
And Scream. The highest rating I gave after Seven was Trainspotting, which is interesting because that's like a solid 7, no? I have never thought about Trainspotting since I've seen it. 1997, it's the year of Men in Black and Austin Powers and Liar Liar. Will Smith and Jim Carrey still rule the world, rule the roost. But 1987, the late 90s in Hollywood were really weak in my opinion. They had a massive problem where they just churned out cynical garbage, which is suitable. Because my 10 out of 10, the only 10 out of 10 for me, was Space Jam. A glorified advert. Jesus Christ, really? See, that's not me. That's not current me. That's fun, ironic 13-year-old Sam, that crazy card, watching Space Jam. The weird bit about that is that I didn't grow up with Space Jam like everybody else in the world. So what am I doing? Buying the Space Jam t-shirt and the Space Jam cards, and I'm overcompensating. But I don't know, could have been worse, baby. 1998 was the first year I was ever in a movie theatre. Reportedly, I have no recollection. It was Mulan, and I didn't sit down in my seat, and I was just very curious as to what the fuck was going on. I didn't get the brief, I didn't get the memo. Truman Show, Blade, Fear and Loathing, Titanic, and Big Lebowski. Loads of great films that I do not own physical copies of. So the highest rating does come down to 2, which I've both given 9 out of 10. It's interesting. That's Titanic and Love and Pop by Hideaki Anno. And I think I've got to go with the latter. He's a master of short-form, experimental, no-budget depression art. 1999. Put your faith in what you most believe in. 2 worlds, 1 family. It's Tarzan. In this country, 1999 was a huge year. We've got Life is Beautiful, The Phantom Menace, American History X, American Pie, very similar movies, Fight Club, The Sixth Sense, The Blair Witch Project, and no, it's Tarzan. Then as the millennium rolls over, big mistake, we have a lot of like pop culture icons coming to the forefront. Pokemon the first movie, Toy Story 2, Gladiator, Being John Malkovich, Big Mama's House, of course. And again, it's a tie between Toy Story 2 and Being John Malkovich. One of these films I've seen 1 time, the other I've seen 500 times. But when push comes to shove, I think I've got to give it to John Malkovich. Toy Story 2 is amazing. It's the best of the Pixar catalogue and they've been ripping it off ever since. But that film chilled me to my core. But don't get me wrong, Big Mama's House was the most formative. 2001, 3 of my favourite films in existence come out, like all in my top 5. These are all Americanizations of Japanese anime films. Princess Mononoke, Pokemon 3 Spell of the Unknown, and Digimon the movie. There's a lot of good stuff in this year, like there's a lot. Spy Kids, Bridget Jones, Shrek, the first Harry Potter, and the first Lord of the Rings. But I'm pretty confident in giving it to Digimon the movie, because as anyone who's followed the channel for any period of time knows, that is very unironically my favourite piece of media. And I wish that was a bit.
Ready? Let's go.
The Digivolution is up and coming. Did you see? Did you hear? Did you know what's coming? I did your destiny starts today. Let me hear you say Digimon. 2002, massive year for movies. Spider-Man, Attack of the Clones, Scooby-Doo, Jimmy Neutron, but I'm giving it to Lilo and Stitch. A movie that I can enjoy as a child and as an adult. There's a lot of Disney on this list. Makes sense. They were pretty formative movies. I wasn't watching Citizen Kane at age 8. Although this does earn its 10, it does debunk City of God and Spielberg's Catch Me If You Can, and that's an injustice. 2003, I really wanted to get the Spy Kids 3D Game Over, and my 10-year-old self would have, but I know better now, which is why I'm giving it to another piece of Japanese depression art, End of Evangelion. Also by Hideaki Anno. He dominates. My childhood self would like to apologise to Pirates of the Caribbean, Kill Bill Volume 1, Elf, Johnny English, Bruce Almighty, Spy Kids 3D Game Over, and Spirited Away. 2004, Spider-Man 2, Scooby-Doo 2, Shrek 2, The Trifecta. There's a lot of good movies out this year, but the only 10 out of 10s I see are The Incredibles, brilliant film, and Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. So I'm going with the latter. 2005 doesn't bring much, a lot of movies I enjoy more in retrospect. Anyway, I give it to Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which narrowly beats out Goblet of Fire. In 2006, a lot of big movies happened and I didn't really like any of them. I've also barely seen any of them, which is crazy to me. So instead of Borat, if I pick Borat, that'd be funny. IMDb. Borat. I didn't like Borat. Fair enough, it's not a great movie. The winner's Little Miss Sunshine. In 2007 we had Spider-Man 3 and The Simpsons movie and Ratatouille. But I'm gonna break the rhyming couplets by saying it's Hot Fuzz because it's the only 10 out of 10 among them. Sorry Transformers, an epic movie, a very cultured decade. 2008, it's a two-hit punch. Get violent. Because I just love these movies. It's between Sword of the Stranger and The Mist, with maybe In Bruges as a number 3. I've got to give it to The Mist because that ending didn't leave my brain. It's probably the cruelest thing ever put to film. 2009 is weird. If I go by the ratings, the only two ones I've picked are anime movies. The best Naruto movie, to be fair, but I understand if that's biased, and Afro Samurai Resurrection, which is objectively a great bit of animation. Please go and check it out. It has Samuel L. Jackson and the RZA. And then we come to the golden year that was 2010. I think I like 2010, I don't remember it. Good movies though. Ponyo, Summer Wars, Scott Pilgrim. These are all 10 out of 10s, and I think all of them are in my top 5 movies I've made. Of all of them, it's no contest. 2011. From this point on, I've actually catalogued all of these. I've covered the whole last decade of my favourite films in a video series. Some of those videos are real bad though, so I gave it to Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 2. Pretty weak year on the whole. 2012. Now we're in the big time, baby. 2012 was when I got into movies properly. Chronicle, 21 Jump Street, Hunger Games, Avengers, Amazing Spider-Man, Hobbit 1, Prometheus, Looper, Skyfall, all of those films I could just name them off the top of my head. They are so formative to me. And it's gotta be Life of Pi. I just love that little Bengal tiger. Rest in peace, Irfan Khan. In 2013 I worked in a movie theatre and I got free movies for a summer. Monsters University mostly, actually. My favourite film of this year was Iron Man 3. But also, maybe Desolation and Smog. It depends what day. 2014. The Fault in Our Stars. 2015 gives us a lot to play with. Hang on, did I say The Fault in Our Stars? I meant 22 Jump Street. Very similar movies. 2015 actually does give us a lot to play with though. We've got Birdman and Kingsman and Whiplash and Big Hero 6. There's Feast, which is a Disney short. It's my favourite short film ever made. All of these 10 out of 10s, very easily. I give it to Whiplash. We're getting a lot of ties at this point, but then again, fair enough, the last decade has been my favourite year for cinema ever. Cruelly neglecting masterpieces such as Suicide Squad, The Boy, and Batman vs Superman Snyder Cut, there's... come on. You thinking what I'm thinking? It's Demolition, starring Jake Gyllenhaal. that movie that we all watched. You did see Demolition starring Jay Gyllenhaal, right? 2017 packed a punch. It was very consistent movie-wise, but very few 10 out of 10s. I would really just have to give it to Baby Driver. Because unlike, say, Kingsman 2 or La La Land, it's a movie that gets better every time you watch it, rather than worse. 2018, the best year for movies? Sorry to Bother You, Lou Over the Wall, and Infinity War are all 10 out of 10s that have really shaped who I am day to day. I think about them day to day, especially Sorry to Bother You. But my favourite among them would be Lou Over the Wall. Infinity War and Sorry to Bother You can be uncomfortable watches sometimes, and Lou Over the Wall just wants to make me sing and dance and be happy. So I know which one I'm definitely more grateful for right now. Last year, the year of our Lord, it was Guava Island, starring Childish Gambino. Childish Gambino, of course, is my lord, but I also wouldn't blame you if you gave it to Parasite, which is, you know, more of a movie, cinema film, rather than a glorified music video that played at Coachella, but I really liked it. 2020, the year that never was. I guess it has to be 1917. Anything can come out, if anything will come out for the rest of this year, and it probably won't be 1917. And all that competition it's got, huh? Birds of Prey, Scoob, Trolls World Tour. These movies ended cinema, supposedly, at this point in time. Let me know in the future, comment in the comments below if cinema is now dead. I'll make a fucking list about that too. Lists!